It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, yes! Caught! Touchdown, they did it!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second hour here on the Full Court Press. Jason Walker, Ajay Salvesen. Glad you could be here. Still plenty to go over on this Friday.
We are that much closer to a fun weekend.
I know. It's just like we're this close.
We're this close.
Got a lot of high school football talk. Of course, we've already had some high school football, but then we got Utah State going on Friday. So really excited for this weekend, but let's start with that high school football, because yesterday we actually had the opening game of this week's Region 11 games. Thursday night football in Region 11. Ridgeline taking on Mountain Crest, and the score ended up being pretty close, although some of that was just a late rally by Mountain Crest. Ridgeline ends up winning at 34-28. Mountain Crest got 2 touchdowns like the final 3 minutes to make it a little bit closer, but Ridgeline carrying the day pretty comfortably for the most part. And I guess this was a game that I was kind of wondering if Mountain Crest was going to be able to prove itself, because they were one of the last 2 undefeated teams in Region 11. I feel like if there was a moment that Mountain Crest was going to prove they are gunning for the Region 11 championship, I felt like it was this game. Now, mind you, that's a super tough matchup going into Ridgeline. It's Ridgeline, I believe it was Ridgeline's homecoming game. So that's a challenge, but I guess that's the one they had to meet if they were. I mean, their Region 11 hopes aren't, completely gone, but it feels like this was a bit of a missed opportunity there for Mountain Crest.
Yeah, it is, and that's the tough part, especially when you lose it to Ridgeline. Give Ridgeline credit. It doesn't really matter who's on the field for them. They just continue to find ways to win. It's just like Skyview. It doesn't matter who it is. They continue to find different ways to win with different guys, and that's what makes Skyview and Ridgeline such a dangerous team to have to face in the 4A state, the 4A state playoffs. But I mean, Mountain Crest, scores 14 in the second quarter. Ridgeline responds with a touchdown in the second quarter as well, and then Ridgeline scores 20 in the third quarter, 20, and pretty much pulls away from Mountain Crest. You mentioned this, a couple late touchdowns. Sugarcoats to score a little bit from what Ridgeline did, but man, Ridgeline just dominating right now, especially offensively. They've been really impressive.
Yeah, with that run game, obviously J.T. White losing him for the season, seemingly a huge blow, you would think. But then last week against Green Canyon, best defense in 4A, pretty much for the most part, they scored I forgot what the final score of that one, but they certainly did all right. They went 31 points, 24 points at halftime. Certainly did fine against the best defense in 4A, if not 4A, then at least Region 11. Did well there, get 34 points against Mountain Crest, who are probably one of the next best defenses in Region 11. So they're able to do all right, and that's not to downplay what JT White has done, but kind of like you said, like the system seems to work where they're just elevating whoever's there, and against Mountain Crest you get a couple rushing touchdowns from 2 different people, Crew Jones, Jackson Lindsay. So yeah, it does seem whoever's out there on the field, they're making plays. They're stepping up for each other and doing what needs to be done. So even though for Ridgeline, they took the loss to Skyview, and that's really going to hurt their Region 11 title hopes.
Yeah, it will.
But I think they're still well placed for a state title run, which in the end, and I want to say it was Travis Cox that said this, but we brought up region titles to one of the Region 11 head coaches, and he kind of dismissed it a little bit, where it's like it's lost its luster.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore with the RPI rankings the way they are now. A region title, you can win a region title and still finish behind 1 or 2 teams in your region based on RPI factor. Like that's such a shame, because back, when you and I were both in high school, region titles meant everything. You got a trophy, you got a photo, you got the whole shebang with it. And now it's, we got a region title, but we're still going to be finishing behind, this team or maybe even both teams because we didn't play tough enough schedule or because these teams that we played weren't good enough in their schedule. And that just, it sucks. Like, I really do hate this RPI thing. I think it affects football. I think it affects basketball. I think it affects baseball the most. It just absolutely ruins it. What I love, though, now is that the 4A class is so much more bigger. And now you got good teams like Park City is, 6-0 right now. They're undefeated in region play. Tooele is, they went 2-4. I guess they went 0-4 in non-region play. They're now 2-0 in region play. So, now it gets fun now with all these other regions being involved. But, again, I just feel bad that the region title is, like you said, lost its luster.
Yeah, so with that, if teams aren't as much gunning for the region title, Ridgeline, they're as I said, they're well placed because I think they were number 2 in RPI coming into this week. Mm-hmm. Can't imagine they're going to be moving any after defeating Mountain Crest.
No.
So
no, not at all. And again, there's so much intricacy in it, right? Like who you played, what those teams are doing in their region, and who they beat, who they lost to. It just really affects in so many ways you, and it's so out of your control.
Yeah, so at the very least, if Ridgeline's able to go undefeated the rest of the way, they're 2 or 3 in the RPI. It's a pretty close race because you look at the numbers, it's actually pretty close between 2 and 4, I think. They're all within a decimal point of each other or something like that. So there could be some fluctuation. So technically Ridgeline maybe could drop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Park City might be number 3. And if they beat I don't know who they're playing this week, but if they beat a tough opponent, then I guess they could jump up. Because we've seen that where 2 teams win, but one team leapfrogs the other because of
it's happened a lot
because of all the potential RPI shenanigans with opponent's win percentage and opponent win percentage, and there's not as much you can control with RPI. There's very little you can control really.
So it makes it hard.
But yeah, so Ridgeline, I think they're pretty well placed despite not again their Region 11 title hopes aren't gone, but it'd be difficult because they lose a tiebreaker with Skyview.
But again, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
right?
but it doesn't matter.
I mean,
but yeah,
you may go, I lost the region title, but you know what? We still finished 1 spot ahead of you in the RPI rankings, so we got a better seeding.
Yeah.
And you might even get the bye, even though you didn't win the region championship.
Yeah, they'll probably get a bye, and they're gonna
crazy.
They're gonna get a game on their home field, assuming they take care of business. So they could still, and it could end up with them maybe rematching Skyview. Depending on how the bracket matches up, maybe in a quarterfinal, semifinal, or if they're on opposite sides of the brackets, then they'd meet in the championship game potentially, assuming Skyview took care of business. So Ridgeline's still very well placed. They're taking care of business aside from the Skyview game. So they're looking like their state title hopes still very much alive, and they're doing their best to keep a stride in the RPI. For Mountain Crest, as I said, it does feel like a missed opportunity for at least Region 11 glory. But they're certainly going to be spending the rest of the season gearing up for potentially their own run in the playoffs. They'll have to do it as a bit of an underdog based on the fact that they've lost to Ridgeline.
Probably do it on the road too.
Yeah, maybe they'll be kind of on the edge there, depending on if they lose against Skyview. They're definitely going to have to spend a little bit more time on the road. But they had a bit of a surprise run in last year's playoff bracket. Yeah. They didn't go super far, but they did fairly well, especially for a team that I think they were middle of the road in the RPI, if I recall, as well. So certainly some things Mountain Crest can do, but yeah, it certainly feels like a bit of a missed opportunity there. Another game. This is the game that I'll be calling tonight, and it's actually the reason we're pre-recording this right now. So
are we allowed in? Okay, yeah. Well, we're pre-recording right now. It's currently.
I've said it before.
Oh, you have? I one time said it, and I think Eric got mad at me. He's like,
"Oh, did he?" Oh.
I was like, "Well, whatever."
But yeah, it's so this game it'll be on KVNU and on this station later today. So I think there's technically 5 different ways you can watch or listen to the game.
That's awesome.
KVNU, so 102 FM, and heck, I think there's even 2 102 102.1 102.3. I think there's 2 different KVNU stations on the 102 frequency. So maybe even throw on another one. Then it's on 610 AM, and then it'll be on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. And also, live stream the video will be on CashValleyDaily.com. So myself and Josh Anderson will be on the call. And it's Logan's homecoming game. And unfortunately, this isn't the greatest season for Logan. It's kind of a rough one.
When has it not been a rough one?
Last year wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is they beat Skyview last year. And unfortunately, that's probably going to work against them because Logan's been through it their first 2 games. They lost the game by halftime against both Bear River and Mountain Crest. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if this game's going to be all that much different, especially because Skyview, a lot of the players are coming back from last year's team that remember their only region loss was to Logan. Well,
Brevin Egbert right now has been on a roll. He ran on leads the state in rushing touchdowns, about 2.5 per game, 16 in all. They've got a great rushing attack. They got a great passing attack. Logan's got their hands full again, unfortunately, for the second week in a row. I know they got blasted by Mountain Crest, and I'm with you. I don't know if this game makes it to halftime safely for Logan.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. You never like to talk about a team the way we kind of have to talk about with Logan, and with their youth and with injuries and a new coach.
I wish they could find some stability. Yeah. I don't know how they do, but I hope they can find some stability in that program.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping with Carson Mund. You can see the stuff that Carson Mund is doing positively.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's youth and injuries that are starting to handicap him, and he's just in this region is brutal. Like, this is not the region to be in if you're trying to reestablish stability, because it will absolutely wreck you week in and week out.
Agree.
And so they're going to have to find something here this year, next year, or soon to try and establish some level of stability as a program. And unfortunately, this is a year where they're going to kind of go through it a little bit.
And again, go back to Egbert Kitty. Again, he's just been phenomenal, and he will have a case for the 4A MVP.
He was Region 11 MVP last year.
He's over 1,100 yards right now through 6 games, man. Almost 7.5 yards per carry, about 192 yards per game. Like, that is unfreaking real. The next guy, I think, below him is 60 yards less than him. Yeah. Like, what he's doing right now is impressive.
Yeah, I could hardly see anybody else being the MVP because he's a walking 200-yard game. At least 200 scrimmage yards. Because, like, I'm not sure. You can probably count on
Is he
one
a
or
senior?
two fingers. Yeah, I think he's a senior.
He's going to get some offers.
Oh, yeah, he'll get some. I'm pretty sure he's already gotten some offers. But it is crazy the stuff he's been able to do as far as his rushing totals. Combine that with some receiving yards, and yeah, like I say, he's a walking 200-yard game from scrimmage. Not always 200 rushing yards, but 200 scrimmage yards every game, 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's won our Prep Player of the Week award twice. He's the only multi-time winner so far this season. So he's pretty crazy. And so Logan's going to have their hands full with him. And with Brighton Williams, who won the Player of the Week award last week for us with his performance, 190 receiving yards. And then there's Carson Thatcher. So there's a lot of stars on that Skyview team to keep Logan occupied.
Yeah, Carson Thatcher's done just as much damage as Egbert has. So, yeah, it's a two-headed horse right now, and it's pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, you can listen to that game, KVNU, here on The Fan, also watching on CashValleyDaily.com. Myself, Josh Anderson, on the call. The other game in Region 11 tonight, Bear River traveling to Green Canyon. This is another one where there's more than one because we simulcast. It'll be me that you'll hear the voice of on The Fan and on KVNU. This one, we've got 2 sets of broadcasters doing this one. For Bear River, you can hear that one on 104.9 in Box Elder County. Trent Carter and Josh Tyre on the call. For Green Canyon, you can hear their broadcast and also watch the video online on CashValleyDaily.com. You can listen to it on 100.9 Light FM. Adam Lurcher, Stockton Jukes on the call there. And this game probably projects to be a lot closer, probably similar in some ways to the Ridgeline Mountain Crest game. Perhaps lower scoring just because Green Canyon's involved and their defense tends to lock teams up. It is kind of interesting because both of them are coming off of losses. Bear River, they're 1-1. They've got the win over Logan and the close loss. Dang near pulled out a homecoming spoiler win over Skyview. So you have to imagine they're hurting a little bit, thinking, okay, we should have come away with that one, but let's beat Green Canyon. The Green Canyon, they're rocking 2 straight losses in a row. They were number 1 on the RPI at one point. They were riding high. They were undefeated. 2 weeks later, and all that seems to have fallen apart.
Yeah, life hits at you fast, right? This is a big game for Green Canyon. This is a massive game for Green Canyon. They need some momentum badly, at least going into the state playoffs, one way or another. And I don't know if they have really many easy tunnels or routes to be able to get any of the momentum. It's got to be tonight. They really need this one, but it's going to have to come into the course of a tough team like Bear River.
Yeah, I think I pretty much had the same thing as you as I wrote my notes. If Green Canyon's going to have a turnaround, it's now or never.
It's got to be now. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I would agree.
So, yeah, they're a team that, their Region 11 title hopes are pretty much dashed with the 2 losses. But, yeah, gear up for the playoffs. Gear up for the playoffs. You've got a defense that can carry you in playoff games, but they've got some fix-ups to do on offense.
It's been an issue for a while, too. I know they've had this offensive slump for – I mean, honestly, and it just comes at random points from. I know it happened last year and the year before as well. Offense kicked into gear really early and then just stuttered. I mean, honestly, stuttered its way to the playoffs in the latter half of region play. And, I mean, it's rearing its ugly head again. And I'm not sure why either. I still haven't been able to figure it out.
Well, it's made its transition between coaches as well. So I think maybe, they got a first-year head coach. So maybe they're just establishing things. Just
sure.
Green Canyon's just out of a culture of they have great defenses, and we'll worry about the offense later.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they're able to tune up their offense. It's been doing a little better. You get the 21 against Ridgeline. They've been doing slightly better than they were earlier in the season, where they were like single digits, low teens. Now they're getting into the upper teens and even into the 20s in some of their games. So I think they're improving a little bit in terms of their overall production. But yeah, they just need firepower on offense, because they can get that together where they can at least be. They don't have to be this elite offensive team, but if they can be good offensively, that could carry them to a surprise title where they can shut down just about everybody. Just score enough points to help your defense out.
It's got to have some momentum again going into state. That's when it's going to really matter one way or another.
Yeah. Of course, Bear River going to be a tough test with their
are.
offense. They're certainly a lot better than they have been in previous years. As I said, they're 1-1. They blew out Logan, nearly took one against Skyview.
Probably should have.
Yeah, probably should have. 2-point conversion away. But they got Owen Olson at quarterback. He's doing really well right now. Athletic guy he's got a decent enough arm for a high school kid. They got Jace Roberts, Talon Marble, two-way guys. Tyden Jones at running back. They've got some playmakers. They're a lot like Skyview, and it's like you say, okay, this guy is their star. Okay, but what about that guy? And what about that guy? It's like in Ridgeline, it's kind of the same way too, where it's like you can maybe identify a star, but then there's like 2 or 3 other guys that you're like, well, that guy will kill you too if you don't pay attention to him. So Bear River going to be a tough test. Although Green Cane, on defense, they got plenty of great guys that are able to stop. Like each week, there's a new player of the game nominee we get. And it's just a different defensive guy.
It's incredible.
So there's just so many different guys on that Green Canyon defense. I know Dewey Egan's probably one of the main stars, where he's a 2-way star on offense and defense. So yeah, that game, as I said, will be on 100.9 Light FM. That's the Green Canyon broadcast. You'll hear Stockton Jukes, Adam Lurcher, and for Bear River, the radio stream will be on 104.9 in Box Elder County. Trent Carter, Josh Tyre, and you can see it on CashValleyDaily.com. We have the video broadcast. It'll be the Green Canyon broadcast. It'll be audio only for Bear River's broadcast on CashValleyDaily.com. So,
dude, Adam used to be a producer for the show.
Did he?
Yeah, before he went on his mission. Adam was a producer for our show.
Really?
That's crazy now that he's a play-by-play guy. That's awesome. Good for him and Stockton. That's a good duo right there, but I love Adam. Shout out to him and his hard work.
Don't one or both of them also call Utah State soccer?
Stockton does.
Stockton's? That's what I thought.
Yeah, Stockton's been doing, he's done a lot of softball games. He's really great with softball and soccer. Really fun to listen to on the Mountain West Network. And then, I think Adam will get there as well. I think Adam it's kind of what she's shooting for as well. But that's great to have them both on the Cache Valley radio group. That's pretty awesome to hear.
Yeah, they've been really good having them for Green Canyon for I think they started doing basketball last year, and then they're coming into football this year. So
good for them.
A lot of fun for those guys. So let's shift focus. We're gonna for the last few minutes here of this segment, let's talk about Mountain West football matchups. And
oh yay!
I'll be honest, that's kind of when I looked at the schedule, I saw that there's the first couple of games like, oh, those are interesting, and then I looked at the rest. I was like, because New Mexico at UMass, Colorado State at Middle Tennessee.
Yes, give me that.
Appalachian State at Wyoming, Nevada against Texas State,
yummy.
UNLV UTEP, Kent State, Fresno State.
Yes.
And the best of them
Love
all.
this.
Best of them all, New Mexico State, Hawaii.
Oh man, this is some freaking good football. You know what I'm going to be doing? Watching Mountain West football. Middle Tennessee, Kent State, UTEP? Oh.
You can't, it doesn't get better than that.
Daddy. No.
So, yeah,
please.
Those games, not quite as interesting. Utah State, James Madison, I think, is probably at least
That's probably the most premier non-conference matchup there is.
Yeah,
right?
of the Saturday games, I think that's probably the best. Maybe Kent State, Fresno State. But
I'd love to hear your reasoning for that, but go ahead.
Well, Fresno State's probably the best team that's playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
And Kent State, I don't think they're bad this year, are they?
I don't know Kent.
Neither do I. I'm not
Kent State? I'm fetch gives about the MAC.
surprised they didn't play on like a Wednesday.
Oh, dude, I wish we would do that.
Play on a Wednesday?
Oh, man,
I'm
that'd
so
be
glad
great.
we don't. We never hear the end of it from the coaches.
It's true. That's so true.
We would
How do you prep? So you play Wednesday?
You don't?
And then you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday you got to like work on, but then I don't know, like
if you had all your conference games on Wednesday, it would work. But then like that first week where both of you are getting, 2 days of prep, like
when's your presser? Is it Saturday?
I don't know. Most people do
is it
theirs on like
Sunday?
Tuesday, Wednesday. Utah State I found is actually really rare, and they do theirs on Monday.
Wait, that's rare?
Yeah, like pretty much every team that because I'm looking up the
Yeah, I guess James Madison's
yeah
does
James
theirs
Madison did theirs on Tuesday. I think somebody did theirs on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was
I think Air
Idaho
Force.
State.
Was it Idaho State that on their Wednesday?
Idaho State did theirs on Wednesday, and they didn't do it until like the late afternoon.
Yeah.
Because I got the email from the SID of theirs like on Wednesday evening around 7.
Yeah, because I've on Tuesday or Wednesday I'm start looking for the other team like to put clips from their press conference on our show, and it's
I just need to send you the audio. I'm getting it already from their SID. I'll send you the audio.
Well, I can usually find it. It's just I'm looking for it and like I don't see it doesn't come until
Instead
Tuesday.
of just
or Wednesday.
looking for it, I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, if you want to do that,
I'll
that'd be
just
fine.
email you the audio so you don't have to look for it.
It's not hard to find usually.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Sometimes it can be.
Yeah.
James Madison's was kind of tricky.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest
Well, no,
one.
it wasn't for me because they just emailed me.
Yeah, I had to dig for it. The others were just on like YouTube.
Jason, just ask.
All right, I'll ask next time.
Gal.
But the two matchups, real quick to go over.
Yeah.
And probably the best one, undoubtedly, is going to be Boise State at San Diego State.
A measuring stick of sorts.
Yeah, and I think more so for San Diego State because they're a team that's felt a bit underwhelming, but they have played probably the best. Well, them and San Jose State probably have played the best or hardest non-conference schedules of these any Mountain West team. They're playing ranked teams. They're going through the gauntlet of the Pac-12, which this year is a gauntlet.
Yeah, it is.
They are tough this year. So San Diego State, they're all of I think 1-2, 1-3, or excuse me, 2-2. They beat Ohio and Idaho State, but they lost to UCLA, Oregon State. So they're going off against Boise State, who, they got pasted by Washington, lost a close one to UCF, and then beat North Dakota. So Boise State actually doesn't have a win over an FBS team yet. So
They're not. And by the way, without Joe Cutter, their former OC, they're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle really badly throughout Mountain West play.
and they've got some talent on that team. I think George Trelawney go down for long term because I thought he got injured, but I'm not sure if he's back yet.
He's not back yet. I don't think he's back this week either.
Yeah, so that could be really rough for them because San Diego State, their pride is their defense, and they've got a run game on offense that, with the running quarterback and with some talented enough running backs and good offensive line. I think it could be a really interesting game, and that game is today. They're the two interesting Mountain West games, at least.
They are. Oh, it's CBS Sports, though. Fetch.
Well, I'm going to be calling a Logan game, so I'm not going to get to watch any of these games.
Oh, man. That sucks.
So, yeah, CBS Sports, FS1 is going to be carrying Air Force at San Jose State.
Why? Can we just flip those channels? Like, give Air Force.
You don't want to watch Air Force San Jose State?
No, I don't want to watch
I think
it.
it's going to be a good game.
I just saw the triple option in person. You think I want to see it on freaking my 67-inch screen TV too?
Well, this is more to watch San Jose State and see how because they're also having a disappointing non-conference.
Well, they're 1-3, so I guess we already know who San Jose State is.
Again, they've played a tough non-conference schedule. They played USC. I think they played Oregon State as well. They've played a bunch of ranked teams.
So let's go back to Boise State, San Diego State. This, again, is kind of intriguing. You got Joe Maiden, 701 yards. He's thrown for 3 TDs, but 4 interceptions.
Yeah, they've not. They started to look better in the pass game late last year. That has not translated to this year.
And on the other side, offensively, you got this McAllister kid who's just been awesome. He's got 15 catches, 238 yards. He's got a couple touchdowns with them as well. If Boise State can get their offense in a groove with rhythm, I think they can beat San Diego State. Which, by the way, attendance, I'm guessing, is going to be 30% full at Snapdragon Stadium. It sounds like they're having some issues
I
selling
don't
tickets.
know what's wrong. That's a beautiful stadium.
Dude, it's because they're pricing tickets for like $100 each. Like I've been reading, like the fans like for Aztecs are just livid with the ticket prices and the lack of product that they're watching for these ticket prices. So, yeah, I mean,
they're a Pac-12 team. You have to charge $100 per ticket.
I know, dude. Now see like I said, it was a measuring stick. I didn't want to say exactly what the measuring stick of, but I think if you read between the lines, you know where I'm going with this. But these two teams are just such an this is the Eagle Bowl. This is what we call it, the Eagle Bowl.
It kind of is.
It really is. I mean, Boise State thinks they belong in the ACC. San Diego State thinks that they are the Pac-12. So,
yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Yeah, 'cause there's two teams that think they're on the top, and they have been on the top generally. But yeah, they've got a lot to. God. They're struggling a bit this year. But
can't do this, man.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll get a little bit into the NFL in this next segment here on the Full Court Press. Welcome back, Full Court Press. Jason Walker, Ajay Salvesen. Been talking college football, well, high school and college football this hour. Went over all the high school matchups. Got Ridgeline and Mountain Crest, they played yesterday. Logan and Skyview play today. Bear River and Green Canyon also facing off today. We've been going over, we ended the last segment, we were talking about Mountain West matchups. I know the matchups absolutely filled you with joy. Like, you sounded like you were so excited. You were so excited for some of these matchups.
Give me a pizza. I want to watch some UTEP football.
So Saturday is going to be I don't know, of all those, if New Mexico, UMass, Colorado State, Middle Tennessee, Appalachian State, I'm like, of all these Saturday matchups, if you're not watching the Utah State game, like, which one would you watch?
Colorado State.
Colorado State?
I want to see if they're actually real.
They're playing Middle Tennessee.
All right, let's see if they're actually real. Let's see if they can continue their offensive onslaught.
I think that is interesting because, like, that one game performance against Colorado, you think, oh, dang, they're pretty tough.
They can chuck it. They can run well. But I want to see, like, without the adrenaline rush of playing Colorado in front of a standing room only crowd with 9 million viewers on ESPN. Let's see if they can do it in front of 500 fans.
And they switched quarterbacks. They went from Clay Millen to Braden Fowler.
Nicolais? Yeah, like Nicolais or something like that.
The text is really small on my screen. I couldn't read it all.
Yeah, I'll take Colorado State. Hey, give me your winner. Boise State, San Diego State. Who do you got?
That's tough because I think both teams have been underwhelming based on what I thought they would be. I thought San Diego State would be a lot better, and I thought Boise State would at least be better.
Yeah.
Losing to Washington, especially seeing what Washington is so far this season, doesn't surprise me in the slightest. They got Heisman frontrunner right now. I'd probably lean Boise State, even though it's at San Diego State. I would think Boise State's just overall better. Like some of their talents on offense. Trust, Green to at least be able to throw the ball sometimes. Unlike, Jalen Martin, I don't know if I trust him to ever throw the ball. I'd at least trust Boise State at least somewhat be able to throw it.
I like San Diego State. I don't know. I think they, like you said, they play a tougher schedule. I don't think it's a pretty football game, but I think San Diego State comes out a winner.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be all that pretty either. It's going to be
so bad.
It's going to be a rough one. I'm trying to see what all the lines and
I think it's
spreads
Boise by
are.
6, isn't it, or 6.5?
Yeah, they got Boise 6.5 on the road. ESPN, their FPI matchup predictor thing, has got Boise State 68% chance.
Wow.
I was mentioning yesterday. I usually get an email from the list of the mass email from
Why not?
Phil Steele.
Man, yeah, you're a true loyal Phil Steele guy. That's right. You're waiting for your Phil Steele email of the week.
It hasn't come in yet though. I rely on it.
I could just see you calling customer service. Yeah, I haven't got my Phil Steele email of the week yet. What's going on over there? You have the right email for me?
I need you to tell me what the matchups are. Who's going to win?
I have a radio show here from 4 to 6, and I rely on Steele's information quite a bit.
Although he was way off on both the Iowa and Idaho games, at least for Utah State.
Wow, what a surprise! He was off.
He was super pessimistic on the Aggies.
What a surprise! He was I shouldn't be surprised.
He did not like the Aggies this season. So
he's never liked the Aggies.
I think he liked him. He kind of called the 2021 turnaround, not to the degree that it was, but I think he had the Aggies turning it around. At least he gives himself credit for calling it.
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Interesting guy. So mainly I look for that because I like to gather different perspectives on predictions. Because I get some from, I know there's like K-Ford rankings. There's one guy on Twitter, like CFB Graphs or something like that. I just like to see these computer, generated matchups. Because I do it in basketball. You got Ken Palm, Haslametrics. I like to get those perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see, like, am I off? Like, what is the national, perspective on these games?
Sure.
Even though sometimes they can be a bit off because they're just not paying as much attention.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Colorado State only got the attention last week because it was Colorado. That's just pretty much all it was for that. So I guess for the other, we'll call it the only other interesting matchup, Air Force at San Jose State. Who would you take in that one?
I'll take Air Force. They're just physically more aggressive than San Jose State is, and I think that San Jose State doesn't handle aggressive defenses like Air Force, and then their option is just, the way their offense is running right now, I don't even know if this game is close. What's the line right now?
Let's see. Let me pull it up. It's at, so the line is Air Force by 6.
Oh, God, yeah, take Air Force in the points for those who are interested in entertainment purposes.
ESPN's little matchup predictor has San Jose State 55%.
Okay. We all do drugs every now and then, and that's what happens.
ESPN's FPI is on drugs.
Snorting Smarties again.
It's on the drugs.
So bad. Man, yeah. That game's tonight, too. It's on FS1, huh?
Yeah.
Great. Sure. I'll spend 3 hours watching Air Force's offense just run all over San Jose State.
Yeah, I rewatched the Utah State Air Force game probably 3 times over the weekend, just breaking it down.
You did?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, dude, I saw it in person once, and that was good enough for me.
I had to write like a 3,000-word Monday cooldown article. Of course, I watched it 2 or 3 times. Whereas, actually, I should say I watched the first half like 3 times.
By the way, dude, I love your write-ups. I've been actually checking those out. You do some really good stuff. I was impressed with the detail, the analysts, and just some of the numbers you put in as well to back it all up. Dude, that's impressive stuff. So if you listeners are listening right now, dude, get on to CashFlyDaily.com and follow Jason Walker. He is good. You are really, really good with that stuff. I've enjoyed it.
I don't know how to respond to compliments.
I know.
It makes me feel really good, though.
We're working with Eric. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, I should probably say I rewatched the first half like 3 times. The second half, I don't know how much of the second half I actually rewatched. Well, I rewatched the McKay Hillstead parts of it.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
The most important part.
For the defense, it was the first half. For the offense, it was probably a lot of the second half.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are the Mountain West matchups. Again, I don't know if there's any of these that I want to pay attention to aside from Air Force, San Jose State, Boise State, San Diego. So, I mean, on any given week, you're probably only going to get 2 or 3 good matchups. And I think we got 3 good matchups out of the Mountain West. You got the good non-conference matchup with Utah State, James Madison, and you got 2 pretty solid Mountain West matchups, Air Force, San Jose State, Boise State, San Diego State. I'd say good enough.
Yeah.
You can get a couple of them on national TV, but, they have to be on Friday because it's about the only way Mountain West can get on national TV is to either start at 10 p.m. to get on CBS Sports or play on Friday. That's generally how it's been.
Sounds about right.
Let's move on to the NFL. I know we don't always get to talk a ton of NFL, but I know me and Ajay, we'll call this the New England Patriots Hour.
Well, let's not take any.
Let's not talk about
associate. I just don't want to. Right? If Zach Wilson beats us, okay. If we lose to Zach Wilson, Jason, we have to punish ourselves. You understand me? We cannot let Zach Wilson, Mr. Cougar, metaphorically and literally, beat us.
Love the metaphorically.
Yes,
literally.
You know what I'm talking about too. You know what I'm talking about. Cougar Town.
So, wasn't
Town.
it the Patriots? They're basically them who basically. I know Zach Wilson didn't do great against
I don't want
most
to do
teams,
this,
but
yeah.
They completely exposed him last
dude,
year.
and do you know what they did? A lot of teams after that just took Bill Belichick's defensive game plan, wrote it as a blueprint, copied it like almost stat for stat, and then just killed him.
That's not even the first time that happened because when the Patriots played the Rams in the Super Bowl,
Jared Goff,
they basically ended
destroyed
the Rams.
that franchise.
The next season
Destroyed
was
that
basically,
franchise.
hey, we're doing Bill Belichick's game plan, and they ruined the best offense in the NFL.
In so much that guys were getting traded, guys were quitting, and guys were moving on by themselves.
Which maybe the Rams should thank the Patriots for that because it ended up They got rid of Jared Goff, get Matthew Stafford,
go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so they should probably send a thank you card for Bill Belichick.
Nice job, Bill.
Thank you for exposing me. Signed, Sean McVay. Bill Belichick was wearing his, 7 rings at this point? 6, 7 rings?
His half cut off sweatshirt. Man, what were we thinking with Mac Jones?
I didn't like the pick. Like, the thing is,
Me neither.
I was hoping for Justin Fields, which isn't looking much better, but I think he would have had a better chance. And I think a big part of with Mac Jones is year one, looked like a great rookie quarterback. Nothing special, but a great rookie quarterback. His offensive coordinator ditches out, goes to Las Vegas, and they hire like 2 defensive coordinators to be the offensive coordinator.
Which was a mess. Matt Patricia was such a mistake.
They ruined Mac Jones. Whatever was there, I don't think there was a whole lot there, but Mac Jones could have been decent quarterback. Your Phillip Rivers, Tony Romo's, Pro Bowl caliber, not your superstars, but could you win a Super Bowl with him? Yeah, if you had an elite team around him. Kind of like Jared Goff. Went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff and Matt Ryan and all those. He could have been like that to a degree. But they ruined him in the second season. He's not recovered. They don't have great weapons around him. They don't have a good offensive line.
Horrible offensive line.
They still have the really good defense, which is one of the things that helped Tom Brady become a great quarterback. He had an elite defense, good offensive line, decent enough slot receivers.
I have the most random question for you ever in full court press history.
All right.
I was watching some film on Tom Brady from 2021. No, sorry, 2019. Has the footballs gotten bigger from now compared to 2007? Because when you watch Tom Brady throw it from in 07 and 09, it looks like a little BB. And now when he throws it looks like a freaking fat balloon. So either balls have gotten bigger or there's something magically happening on the TV screen that makes the ball look bigger.
It's probably TV resolution and maybe how close the cameras are zooming in.
The cameras are okay. Because I was like, dude, this ball looks freaking huge coming out of his hands. But then you watch an 07 game and it looks tiny. And it's like, man, has the football gotten bigger?
Yeah.
I know it's a random question, but it's really been bugging me for the last 3 months.
You're also inviting some, deflator deflate questions in there.
Don't. You know better, Jason.
I do.
Now 9315 is going to text him with some stupid deflator joke.
Yeah, well, that's usually
thanks.
pointed toward you. But
you're a Patriots fan, too. Take some blame and responsibility.
Yeah, I know. It's my responsibility for bringing that up.
Don't roll your eyes at me. Be responsible and accountable for your actions.
I'm never responsible and accountable for my own actions.
All right, let's get through the week of football.
So, what do you feel like with these games? San Francisco beat up on the Giants. Christian McCaffrey doing good for my fantasy team.
How many points did he get you?
I got 23.
Holy crap, out of Christian?
Yeah, some of that's, it's like PPR and all that. And
I don't care, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, he was projected to get 22, so they were expecting to be good, and he did that good.
Well, hey, let's start with the game that we all really do care about. That's New Orleans and Green Bay. You know what's amazing is that Jordan Love's making his first start at Lambeau Field.
Oh, really?
Of his 135 pass attempts, Jason, only 11 have been thrown at Lambeau Field. This is his first start at Lambeau Field.
That's crazy.
And he's going to get it against Derek Carr. He's only made 1 start at Lambeau Field in his career.
So the road quarterbacks had more starts at Lambeau Field than the guys.
In the home quarter, yeah. Is that nuts or what? I love everything about Jordan Love, what he's done so far. I know his completion percentage is low, but what I've also found out is that he has the highest percentage of tough throws in the NFL, which means a tough throw is compared to a guy within 1 yard of his receiver or double coverage throws. And Jordan Love is number 1 in the NFL right now with those throws. So completion percentage is a little bit disguised by that stat, but I still love some of the throws that he's made so far, that he's willing to make tough throws in the NFL. And that's why NFL scouts loved him in the first place anyways. He's going to need to complete those against a good Saints defense. I think this is going to be a great matchup for Jordan Love. At home in front of the Packer Nation, I think this could be one where Jordan get a steal of a win and really solidify some momentum going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think it was really disappointing that he had that late lead against the Falcons, and they ended up giving it up to Desmond Ridder in the Falcons.
Yeah, dude, that's a loss. That's gonna
Yeah, that one was pretty disappointing because it felt like the Packers would get 2-0, and I wouldn't say they're
He
contenders.
missed some
this
throws
year.
in the fourth quarter, though. The one that Romeo
Yeah.
Dobbs on the fade route going to the to the far sideline he should have made.
Yeah, but there have been, I think, your point on him making the tougher throws, which was probably the number one complaint I had in his first ever start when he was filling in for Aaron Rodgers like last year, where I was watching the game and I'm like, these are the kind of throws they would ask me to make if I was starting at quarterback. The kind that half the people in the stands could throw, just behind the line of scrimmage, short, quick. It's like, did they think he didn't know the offense? You drafted a guy whose whole thing was, I can make every throw that Patrick Mahomes can make pretty much with his arm talent. He was a rare arm talent. That's why you draft him. You didn't draft him to be, Sam Bradford out there, or Kirk Cousins, where you're just throwing these little dinky easy passes all over the place. You're drafting him so you could throw more difficult passes, and it feels like they're actually letting him throw more difficult passes this year. Trust him to make plays. I mean, there was one throw where he threaded the needle around a linebacker and two Dobbs down the field. It was over the middle, and it's you see the end zone feed, just how crazy that throw was, the way he was just threading the needle as far as accuracy and being able to complete it. And the heck, he sidearmed the pass too. It's just, it's crazy what we're seeing Jordan Love be able to do, and it's great that he's rocking a 6-0 touchdown to interception ratio, which I think
it's actually pretty incredible.
I think there was one stat where he was comparable like Patrick Mahomes and like Tom Brady, and I think there was a bunch of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, guys who had 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the first 2 games of a season.
Wow.
And it's basically just a list of, Hall of Fame or future Hall of Famer quarterbacks.
Hey, one other game I'm really looking at here, Bills and Commanders. This is why. Washington 2-0 right now. Bills 1-1. Washington's defense has looked absolutely spectacular. Josh Allen has looked mediocre right now at best. He does rank 4th in completion percentage right now, but that hasn't said a whole lot based on his lack of throws, or at least his ability to get the ball downfield. I like the Commanders in this game to go 3-0. This is at Washington. Spread has Buffalo at 6.5. Give me Washington and the points. I know.
Washington is one of those surprise 2-0 teams until you look at their schedule where they play the Cardinals and the Broncos. And they beat the Cardinals by 4. They beat the Broncos by 2. I don't know, man.
I know.
You think they're going to rock up against Josh Allen and the Bills?
Dude, Josh hasn't looked all that great this so far. This team's a little bit roughy.
He didn't look great against a really good Jets defense, and I'm pretty sure he looked a lot better in the next week, if I recall. Going up against the Raiders where they beat them, 38.
It's the Raiders.
Yeah, but the man goes 31 of 37, 3 touchdowns, 274 yards.
It's the Raiders. Okay, same. Don't nullify what the Commanders have done, and then turn around and be like, "Yeah, against the Raiders."
I'm not nullifying.
You are.
Yeah, but the Commanders beat Arizona by 4, beat the Broncos by 2, and the Bills beat the Raiders by 4 touchdowns.
Craziest stat though: Bills have won 8 of the last 9 matchups since their Super Bowl matchup in 1990. Right? Of those 8 wins, according to ESPN, 7 of them have been by double digits.
Wait.
Oh, man.
So they've won 8 straight
the Bills have won 8 of 9 matchups versus the Washington football team since that Super Bowl in 1991. Okay, following the Super Bowl in 1991, 8 wins of the last 9 matchups Bills have had against the Commanders. 7 of those 8 wins have been by double digits. Their only loss was on the road in Week 15 of the 15 season, and I think they were sitting a bunch of guys for that one, getting ready for the playoffs. So, yeah.
I don't think the Bills would have been prepping for the playoffs. They missed the playoffs for 2 decades.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong year. Sorry, yeah. Week 15, 2015, it was their only loss, and I was on the road. So, yeah, you're right. It wasn't the playoffs.
They probably just randomly lost that game because the Bills were probably mediocre.
Tanking for somebody. Anyways.
Wait, so would you...
Go Commanders!
If you're... So why are you picking the Commanders if the history is so in favor of the Bills?
When has history actually ever mattered in a sports game? Oh, hold on. Sorry. We have lost to you guys. Hey, don't you remember when the Patriots beat the Jets 45-3 on Monday Night Football, and then 4 weeks later, the Patriots lost to the Jets in the divisional round of the playoffs? When has history actually ever mattered in sports?
Well, eventually all the streaks do end. I know that.
So here we go. Go Commanders.
But I don't know. I don't always like to
I
pick
should have put
against
that as a
history.
pick six. Gosh dang it, man.
Pick the Commanders to win. Just pick them. I had just picking between the Patriots and Jets because have to do that.
Jets. Zach Wilson's going to throw for 4 touchdowns.
Has he ever thrown for 4 touchdowns?
No,
in a
but he's
game?
going to against the Patriots because, it's just a full-on Patriots season right now.
He's going to throw for like 4 interceptions.
No, he's not.
You think Zach Wilson is going to do good against the Patriots defense?
I do, because we suck so bad, and
The
we do.
defense doesn't.
Mac's going to set our defense up for failure.
The offense is going to do what the offense is going to do. Like, this is why I picked the game to be like 13-9. Both the
That
offense
was
is
actually
gonna
a
do
good call by
terrible,
you, by the
and
way.
The defense are going to do great.
Great call by you. Honestly, that was straight up a great call by you.
It's just like the defenses are both great. The quarterbacks are both mediocre to bad.
Look, I'm focusing on my Washington team right now. We got a big one against Buffalo, all right?
Lifelong Washington fan.
You heard me. Go Doug Williams. Go Timmy Smart.
There you go. Go all the way back to
John Riggins. The Hogs.
And I was thinking like quarterback from this, like Sammy Baugh.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, my man, Sammy Baugh. Let it sling.
I could have just made him up. And
Nuh-uh. No, because he's on the all-time Madden team on Madden 23, you jerk.
That's how you know.
All right?
That's how you
Have
know
some
who he is.
respect for the legend.
That's how you know who he is, because of Madden. That's how you know who Bart Starr
Yeah.
is, too.
Dude, yes, because he won the first 2 Super Bowls. How dare you? How dare you? You know what we ought to have? Eric put me and you on a Jeopardy quiz for NFL football. I'd wreck you. I would wreck you.
You probably would. I'm terrible at trivia.
You sure are. Yes, I know who Bart Starr is.
Bart Starr.
Hey, who's the famous receiver who helped win that game after their star receiver got injured in Super Bowl I?
I have no clue.
Max McGee.
Sure, I'll
Thank you,
trust
Superstars of Super Sunday NFL Films from 1986.
NFL films.
I love that. I have that on my YouTube video saved.
NFL films are good, although they are kind of full of themselves.
Full of themselves? What?
They did a list on like the top 10 things that have changed the game, and they put themselves at number 5.
Yeah, it has. I mean, dude, people bought that stuff. Like, people love NFL films.
Didn't change
The
the
music?
game, though. Did it make you popular to a degree?
It changed the marketing of the game.
Didn't change the game.
Wait, so you're just asking if it changed the game?
Yeah, there are also the things that changed the game, and they had things like they put Paul Brown, the guy who founded the Browns and the Bengals, they put him in like number 1 because he founded 1/16 of the NFL. But things like the guy who, like Pete Gogolak, I think was his name, he like the modern kicking style, like soccer style, he brought that to the game, so he was on like at number 10 or number 9.
Was Patrick Mahomes number 1?
No, because this came out in like the mid 2000s.
Oh, okay.
But things like I think
Lawrence Taylor.
Bill Walsh might have been on there for like the West Coast.
Oh,
offense.
yeah, dude. Bill Walsh.
And they had there was also like some rule changes in the 70s that made passing easier. So things like that. But then they put themselves at number 5. NFL films changing the game. Like yes.
What was number 1?
I think it was Paul Brown.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
think
fair enough.
He was the 2 or 1. It was like I said, and I forget all the
that's fair
things on the
enough.
list, but it's like there were things that actually changed the game, and then it's like NFL films. Like, you made it more popular, and they are good.
Sable.
Yeah, good stuff. So
How much time do we have left?
we got about 3 minutes left in this segment.
Okay, so let me ask you. Right now, all right? What's more likely? Jordan Love to throw 3 touchdowns or Zach Wilson to throw 4 interceptions?
Ooh. Should have made that a pick 6.
I know.
Thing is,
Dude, now we're doing all this crap.
And the thing is, I
Dang
put
it.
pick 6. I had Jordan Love under 3 or under 2.5.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh! What am I doing?
I'd say Jordan Love 3 touchdowns is more likely. Just
Good
because
Saints defense, man.
just because I know that the Packers haven't really relied on him to get tons of yards through the air, but they're very clearly trusting him in scoring position to be throwing those touchdowns.
I'm going to give you a hot take for the day.
All right.
Zach Wilson will have a better QB rating and a better day statistically
It's like
than Jordan Love.
It's like better passer rating. We'll go with
Passer rating, yards, touchdowns will be better than Jordan Love.
I'm going to take you up on that. Should you bet something?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you want? Chocolate? Skittles? What?
Yeah, let's do like a candy bar.
What's your candy bar choice?
Probably a fast break.
What?
The Reese's like fast break? Do you not know what those are?
No, I know what those are.
Oh.
That really?
I'm not a huge candy bar guy. It's just one of the ones I like.
But you want a candy bar.
That's the
You
first
get
thing
a
I
moon
can,
pie.
That's the first
Oh,
thing
you
I
hate
can
moon
think
pies.
of. Other than like money, but I don't really gamble money, so this is
We're
more
not
of
doing money. It's a freaking family-friendly show.
I know.
We can't. Francis would fire us.
Yes, we cannot do gambling. It's against the law here in Utah.
That too. Fast break? Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Zach Wheelton will have a better statistical. I'm going to get lit up on this text line and on Twitter.
Yeah.
But we'll have a better stat day than Jordan Love.
All right, I will keep track of that. I'll look at. So it'll be passer rating.
Should we go passer rating?
Yeah, because that's based off
that's
of
everything on the stats. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, molecule. Okay, cool.
So we'll do that. All right, so that's going to just about do it. We got about 10, 15 seconds. So thank you so much for listening to the show. I've been Jason Walker with Ajay Salvesen. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Yes. Go UTEP.